Hello and welcome to Racing Thru Radio. I'm your host, Sam Moore. May 3rd, this past Friday, should have been opening night for our season, but unfortunately, it rained. We seemed to have some pretty good weather throughout the morning, nothing more than a light sprinkle and a little bit of a breeze, but 5 p.m. rolled around and the pits opened and the rain picked up. People in the pits took to their trailers to hide from the cold and the rain, and at about 6 p.m., management called it. They pulled the plug on Friday night racing for the week. The forecast showed it wasn't going to let up anytime soon, and by the time it did, there was no way they were getting in everybody's race. Everybody in the pits was a little disheartened, myself included. While there was no way anybody was getting on the track, and many of the racers were upset about that, I was thinking about how I suddenly had nothing to talk about for the evening. I was a brand new race interviewer with no racing to talk about. Yikes. Luckily, if there's anything to talk about at Ransomville Speedway, it's the community. But looking around the pits, not a whole lot of people were pulling out their trailers and heading home like I expected. It seemed like most of them were still hanging out in their trailers. As if we were already supposed to be here, so why not have some fun with it? After watching many of them helping each other load up their cars and making sure their pretty new bodies and wraps didn't melt away in the rain, lawn chairs were set up and people were shooting the shit. There was hope for me at last. I made my way over to Dave DiPietro Jr., driver of number 68 in the Sterling Lubricant Dirt Car Sportsman Division, and talked to him about what he was looking forward to this season. And it was just that, the community over at Ransomville Speedway. Let's take a second to roll that clip.
I always enjoy coming to Ransomville Speedway. I get to park next to some of my best friends in racing, so that's going to be a lot of fun this year. I parked next to Scotty George the last couple of years. Dave Conant next to me on the other side. I work with him. He's one of my best friends also, and he's coming back to Ransomville for the first time in a while, so it's just fun to be surrounded with friends.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite responses I've gotten talking to people. Just somebody who's happy about hanging out with people, his friends, while he's at the track. Getting to know people, just having fun with his night. And honestly, it made me realize that getting interviews was going to be a lot easier than I expected. He was having fun talking. He was enjoying his night at the track, regardless of what was going on the track or not. Yeah, everybody's here to race, but they're here to have fun. You can walk up to almost anybody in the pits and just start a conversation, and most of the time they're not only willing to talk, but excited to. One thing I talked to Dave about was family. Here at Racing Thru Radio, family is a huge part of our shtick. His father, Dave DiPietro Sr., who would have guessed, is the new general manager at Ransomville Speedway. I was admittedly a little curious if there felt like there was any shift in dynamics between the two, and if he felt like it was going to be any different racing now that his dad was the one calling the shots. Working with family can be hard. I would know. This whole show is family produced. Thanks, Dad. But that's besides the point. We have fun here. And Dave seemed to have a pretty fun and honest response too, so here's what he had to say about it.
Other than I have one less crew person in my pits on Friday night, not really. I mean, there's no favorites in Ransomville, and I think my dad's going to do a pretty good job making sure that doesn't happen.
We're going to cut to a short little commercial break here, brought to you by our sponsors, and we'll be back in a bit.
Ready to take your home from the pits to the winner's circle? Rendell Painting and Renovation Services has the crew that will get you there. One call does it all. 845-5544. Race fans, take a pit stop at the Thousand Islands Cruet for olive oils and vinegars that will bring the taste of victory right to your kitchen. Dress your salads, marinate your meats. Visit them online, thecruet.com.
Honestly, I should have left my mic running a little bit longer when I was talking with Dave, because right after we hung up the mic, we started talking about a lot of cool art stuff going on with his car and his setup. He has a vintage pink body he runs on some of the bigger showcase nights, and that car is a beauty. The wrap is designed exactly like his father's car was when he raced, and it looks sick. I begged for the 24M car to be pink, but that's okay. It probably looks cooler on Dave's car anyways. We also talked about his helmet for the season, and I know that a lot of people in the stands don't get to see that stuff up close, but he's got this beautiful hand-painted helmet that looks exactly like an NFL Bills helmet. And not only is it stunning, but it was hand-painted by one of his friends at the track. It doesn't seem like anybody in the pits is just racing. They're helping each other set up. They're painting for each other. They're buying their car parts from each other. Nobody in the pits is in the pits alone. A lot of these drivers come in together and they get close. Once they find each other, they stay together. I think getting to have the karts run Thursday nights for the younger kids helps with this a lot. They're able to get on the track early and learn the rules and the safety, and they come over already knowing people. Greg Martin and Ryan Susice are 2 Friday night racers that give their Thursdays to the track to ensure that the racers of tomorrow are not only safe, but they're having fun. I asked them a little bit about what they were looking forward to this season and was able to gauge a little bit better on how they were feeling about this upcoming season. Here's the clip for that.
Yeah, last year I missed most of last season with the birth of my son, so it's been quite a while since I've been in a race car, so I'm just happy to be back. I know we got a new race director here at the Speedway. He's trying to revamp and do some things a little different, which is pretty cool. Actually, Greg here was my partner with the go-kart program, so we do that on Thursday night. So got a big season ahead of us here at Ranceville Speedway.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. It's always fun to start another year here. We got a new car. Sponsors came together, helped me out. Jeffrey Machine. Really excited to Select Transport, help out this year.
Personally, I didn't know a whole lot about Thursday night kart racing. I was pretty sure some kids I knew in middle school did it, but outside of that, I didn't really know a whole lot else about it. So, I figured there was no better time to learn about it and all the difference than right now. I asked Greg and Ryan to fill me in, and here's a little bit about what they had to tell me.
Yeah, one of the things that we've tried to do on Thursday nights is implement a lot of the same rules that we run on Friday nights.
I mean, the foundation is the same, the motorsports in general, just racing, and the rules, obviously the karts are smaller, but the rules are all pretty much the same, so once you're a little kid and you want to go racing, you learn at 5-6 years old, and that go-kart program, having that here on Thursdays is huge for a feeder division for our stock car program, so we kind of need both of them to work together to have a good field built.
And what they're doing on Thursday nights is keeping people coming over to the track and bringing a lot of new drivers in. While I didn't get a chance to interview a lot of these new young drivers, I was introduced to a lot of them. I'm excited to hear what they have to say and learn about if anything feels different about driving with some of the older drivers in their division. We're going to cut to a short little commercial break brought to you by our sponsors, and when we get back, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek preview about what you can expect out of next week's race on the track.
Failed start on your home improvement project? Brendel Painting and Remodeling Services are here. Let them take you to the finish line. One call does it all. 845-5544. Need a pit stop for flavor? Stop in to the Thousand Islands Cruet for olive oils and vinegars to marinate your meats and elevate your eats. Find your checkered flag flavor online at thecruet.com.
Next Friday will be Sean Lett's memorial race for the Sterling Lubricant Dirt Car Sportsman. Plus, it should be a full night of racing. Fans can bring a non-perishable food donation for the local food bank to get a $1 off coupon on Ranceville Speedway's famous French fries at the main concession stand. Pits will open at 5 p.m. for drivers and crew to start getting ready for the show, and grandstands will open shortly after at 6 p.m. for fans looking to fill in. Racing will get underway at 7:15, so make sure you're there on time to watch your favorite drivers hit the track. I believe that brings us to the end of our segment here. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you at the track Friday night, and if I can't see you at the track, I hope to catch you back here Sunday at noon every week.